Hello everyone, very good morning and good evening. Parminder here. Welcome to our SAP TM session. So this is our session number 1 for SAP TM, the new batch we are starting it, the new iteration don't call it batch, we call it as an iteration, the new iteration we are starting it. For that new iteration, this is the session number 1, SAP TM, right? And we'll be conducting these sessions every Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. in the morning. We have almost 4 faculties who would be covering these sessions, including me. I cover the initial 6-7 sessions, and then we will be having Mr. Sandeep, we'll be having Mr. Adi, Vardhan, Vinay to cover the rest of the sessions. Okay, so we have an expert of each area who will be coming it up and covering these sessions. Today is a session number 1. We are starting this in last 1 month. People are waiting for the batches to get started. Not only the TM, but the EWM also we are starting today evening. There's a demo for EWM, and then from tomorrow we are also starting our batches for SD, MM, PP, and FICO. Last 1 month we were upgrading our server. It took a lot of time for us. Almost 3 weeks it took to upgrade our lab, the existing lab from 2022 to 2023. So this training, which will be providing it on SAP S/4HANA TM training, this is SAP S/4HANA TM, embedded training will be providing, and the server access which will be given would be the 2023 server access we would be sharing with you. Okay, there are many of you have already been enrolled for this training. But I think today's session is open session. There are few people who have not yet enrolled. And if anybody is having any generic questions, we would be answering them at the end. In today's session, I'm going to cover in the first session, generally we cover so that you understand. I can understand people come from the different backgrounds with the different experience in these sessions. So to bring everyone onto the same platform, we would be using this session so that everybody understand what is the basics of TM, the terminology of the TM. Those things everybody should be able to understand, right? What are the TM products are there? What are the basic architecture is there? That we will be spending time in the initial 2 sessions on that so that everybody comes on the same platform. Before I go ahead and start it, okay? Before I go ahead and start it, let me quickly know over the chat. Okay, let me quickly know over the chat what is your basic module, which module you belong from. Is it SD, PP, whatever the module you belong from, let me know. Okay, we have an audience from ABAP. ABAP generally, every batch we have 4 or 5 students who join from ABAP. They have working on ABAP, they have working on TM. So they are technical now. They want to convert their profile into techno function. That kind of always we have in the batch 3-4 students. A lot of SD, a lot of MM students, you will find it who wants to upskill to SAP TM. So in today's session, in my mind map, I also have the who should learn SAP TM or who can learn SAP TM. For which people it would be the right module. That also I would be covering it. So that if you have any confusion, doubt, yeah, is this module for me? We will be answering it. This session, please be on mute. Let me mute everyone. Okay, so we follow this in our entire batch. Okay, you will be remaining on mute. Don't unmute yourself. And now I have put it everybody forcefully mute. If you have any question, you can put it onto the chat or you can raise the hand, right? So on the left-hand side, I have my another screen. I have my chats going on, and I can also see if somebody has question. So if you have question, try to put it onto the chat or raise your hand. So I would be checking that, and then I would be giving you access to speak. Sorry. So we have students from, we have people joining from PM, SD, EWM, FI, order to cash, and some people are already working on TM. Those people are there. I would be conducting this session in a way that whichever the module you belong from, whether you know the transportation as a business or you don't know as a transportation, this session will make sense for you. In that way, we would be running this session. Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me check few options here which got off. Okay. Okay. Okay, we are good. So the first thing we are going to talk about is what is TM. And before we're talking about what is TM, the first thing we talk about that why TM is required, why the companies would be adopting to TM as a module. Okay, so we have SAP, right? In SAP, we have different modules, different products, right? So TM is also a product which is used for the transport management, right? But not all the companies has implemented this module. There are a lot of companies which is working only with SD module, okay, without TM modules they are working with. So that's what we are trying to understand. If a company is adopting to TM, what can be a reason for a company to adopt TM, or why this TM, when you will jump into it, it's a very broad product. It has so many functionality, so many calculations, so many complexities there. So we are trying to understand here, a company is adopting to TM, why they are adopting to TM, what are the business needs, what are the business questions which need to be answered and which right now the basic modules are not able to answer. That's why we need to go and adopt to TM. That's what we are going to understand first. Let me use my pen to explain that part. So what are we going to have? So let's say this is your, I'm assuming that this is my manufacturing plant, right? From this manufacturing plant, I want to get the delivery done to my customer, right? So to get this delivery done to the customer, I would be using one lane, and I would be using a kind of a truck, a kind of a vehicle. So this vehicle has been used, and from this source to this destination, I'm sending it, right? And this is a very simple example I'm going to tell you. And things can be very complex. Okay, we might be having here, I'm talking about customer. We can have a customer in different cities. This customer is in Mumbai, let's say. We have another customer in Pune. Okay, we have another customer in Nagpur. We have another customer in, let's say, in Bangalore. So we need to send our materials, we need to send our products or finished goods to these different customers, right? To these different customers. So there can be the multiple ways to send. One way is that you send a separate vehicle to all of them. Okay, you send separate vehicle to all of them. If you're sending a separate vehicle to all of them, you need to also understand what is the load. Okay, this guy might be requiring your 500 cartons. This guy might be requiring a 20 cartons. This guy require a 90 cartons. Okay, so different load, which has been different quantity, and based on this cartons, your volume and weight, which need to be transported. So you need to understand ki if I am sending my vehicles to them, what kind of vehicle I need to send it? What kind of vehicle? Okay, what kind of vehicle I need to send? Whether it need to be a small truck, whether it need to be a 20-feet truck, whether it need to be a 16-feet truck, whether it need to be a small trailer, small car, what kind of vehicle I need to select it, what kind of vehicle I need to send it to, right? That is the thing I need to understand it. Second thing, now this is in the Maharashtra region, this is in the South region, okay? So I'm just giving example, then there can be regions in North India, Delhi can be a region, then Kerala. When we are supplying the products, a company can supply the product across the country, beyond the country, they can export also, they can send it to the other countries also. So there are multiple supply chain legs would be there, right? So when I am operating, let's say I am producing here, when I'm manufacturing, I'm a FMCG company, foods, manufacturing and consumer goods. I am producing my bread spread, or I am producing soap. Now this soap need to be delivered into the multiple cities, more than 200 plus cities within the India, we need to get the delivery done. So I might not be having my own transportation. My job is to make a soap, right? I might not be capable to have my own transportations, my own vehicles to get the delivery done. Okay, my own transportation, my own vehicles would not be there all of the places. My business is to produce soap and sell it, not to manage the transportation, not to manage the logistics, right? So who would be taking this product from me and helping me to provide it? That is called our that is called our uh, supplier or freight forwarder, we call it, right? So we need to understand that which company or which uh, supplier would be helping it out to conduct this operation. So who can provide transportation service? Who can provide transportation service? Okay. And then I need to also understand which route need to follow. There can be chances if I send my vehicle fully loaded from this manufacturing plant, I send it to first to this customer Mumbai, and then this truck goes ahead, then it goes to Pune, and then it comes back. So the two customers it can cover. Okay, if I can combine the load or the quantity of the both of the customers from Mumbai to Pune, I would be in a better shape to have a bigger truck. And with that bigger truck, I would be able to save my transportation cost. I would be able to save my transportation costs. So the another question which comes to the companies is optimizing transportation cost. How I am able to optimize my one of the USP or one of the business case which would be always be there to realize the value of SAP TM, SAP Transport Management, is the cost optimization. Now the things are very competitive in the market. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Right? If any companies who wants to survive, they need to make sure they sell more product and they reduce their cost also. And transportation and the distribution take huge amount of cost. There would be a one big chunk of amount which goes in the transportations and in the distributions, right? So this is always for these products, the transportation management products, TM products. It is always a business case point that the cost optimization need to come. We need to have a tool which will help us to reduce the cost, which will help us to streamline the operation, which will help us to increase our deliveries. Okay, on time deliveries, it will help us to increase, and as well as the transportation cost also, it will allow us to cut down the transportation cost. Okay, so this combining maybe the two customers, sending a single truck and first delivering to this, then to this, and then coming back can save the cost. Okay, or you can also have a scenario where basically now you are having you are having a vendor. You are having a vendor, or this is your raw material supplier. Now, in this case, it is going to Mumbai and to Pune, and it is coming back. Okay. And then you say that, ki boss, my truck is coming back empty. Okay. And whoever will be our freight forwarder, if you're not aware about the terminologies, freight forwarder, in between I am using, don't worry. The second part, when I will be jumping up, we'll be talking about these different terminology which is used in TM. I understand you come from the different modules, different backgrounds. You might not be having experience of using these scenarios or doing these scenarios in the business operation. I completely understand that. I completely understand that. So what are the different terminologies are there? We'll be talking about there so that you get familiar with the terminologies. Now, I can have a chance that this vendor is available, and this vendor is also somewhere near to Pune. Okay, it's around 50 kilometers away from Pune. So you can say, ki boss, my truck will go, and now the route which I'm going to decide, that my truck will go from this manufacturing plant to my customer in the Mumbai, then it will come to Pune. And then rather than coming empty, I have my supplier who provides the raw material. He's also nearby Pune. The truck will go there. It will get the raw materials and it will come back. Now this is more optimized, right? We optimize it more. So even though the truck is coming empty, for the empty truck coming back, also your service provider would be charging to you. Okay, sometimes they charge 80%, sometimes they charge 50%. It's like you have booked a cab. Let's say you have booked the Uber cab, right? For the one city to another city for the long durations. So when they charge, they also have put it in their charge that the cab need to come back to its source location. So that charge is always included. So they charge you for the two ways, going and coming back also. Coming back, sometimes some companies charge 100%, some companies charge 80%, some companies charge 50%, considering that while coming back, we'll get another passenger. So we are not charging 100% for the coming back, for the return leg, right? So there, if the truck need to come empty, you have a truck driver, you have a truck capacity, you have a fuel, everything is getting wasted, right? But if you can combine a scenario, so this was the outbound scenario when I am selling to my customer. But if I am also combine the outbound scenario with the inbound scenario, where basically I also want to buy from a vendor, and that shipment also I combine. I told to my vendor, boss, for this, for you, rather than you sending me the material, you just make my material ready. We'll be having a different Incoterms with that vendor, and we will pick it from your premise. My truck will come and it will pick from your premise, and then we would be getting back to the manufacturing plant. Okay, we are basically, majorly you will see that transportation management is used 70 to 80% of the time for the outbound scenarios, but there would be some scenarios, there would be some cases where it will also make sense to include for the inbound scenario also, where we are receiving the materials. Where we are receiving the materials. Okay. I hope everybody is able to see my whiteboard, right? The drawing which I'm making it here. Quickly put yes if you are able to see, because some people said that they are not able to see the whiteboard which I'm using it. Okay, most of the people are able to see the whiteboard and the drawing. If you are the one who you are not able to see it, then you need to join. You need to rejoin the session. Okay. So these are the things we are talking about, that why basically TM modules are required, and these scenarios will become very complex. I'm just explaining very simple part of it. Now there would not be one manufacturing plant. The FMCG company which we were working, where basically we have implemented SAP TM, they were having these kind of nearly 20 different manufacturing plants. And after the manufacturing plant, they also have a distribution centers. So near to 70 plus distribution center and 20 plus manufacturing unit. Manufacturing unit sending it to the distribution center, sometime manufacturing units directly sending it to the customer. And this 70 plus distribution centers are sending it to the different customers. So think about that big scenarios, okay, where the multiple distribution centers are there supplying a product to the multiple different customers, and not only within country and outside country also. Outside country, you need to have send the product through the ocean, where basically containers need to be booked. Those kind of things will also come into the picture. So in those big scenarios, to understand what material I need to dispatch, on which date I need to dispatch, what two different customer deliveries can be combined to send into one truck, what two materials, different materials, whether they have a compatibility or not. So in FMCG, we have two products. We have soap, then we also have tea leaves. Soap and tea cannot be sent into one truck. Okay, the compatibility of the product is not there. Soap smells goes in the tea smells come into the soap. So that compatibility we need to check. Then we have a bread spread. Bread spread you cannot send into the normal truck. You need a temperature control truck. You need a temperature control truck. Okay, so you need to check that which product can be sent with the which. Sometimes you need to send with the different compartment truck. Sometimes it will make sense. You have a different compartment truck, and one compartment is temperature control, and other two compartments are not temperature control. So with this, you can send a bread spread in this compartment with temperature control. You can have your soap in this compartment, and you can also have your tea leaves in this compartment. That kind of trucks you can use it. By using that, rather than having a three different trucks, a single truck can be used, and this single truck can be sent to the customer. So you would be having, rather than three trips making, you can make one trip. But who will decide for this delivery we need this multi-container truck? Who will identify that who is going to provide the truck? I'm telling you, the different regions, the different service providers would be there. They would be charging us separately. Who would be deciding? Who would be calculating that if I go with this way, if I organize my trip in this way, I would be having a cost saving. And to organize in this way, I have a particular supplier available. Okay. So to do that, to answer those complex scenarios, we need some system which can help to understand that what are the deliveries we need to make it. And out of these deliveries, if I can do my transportation planning, and if I can club my deliveries, And then those transportation planning systems can tell me whether I need to send it through road, whether I need to send it through ocean. If I need to send it through road, what kind of truck I need to use. And for that truck, who would be my supplier? Who would be my freight forwarder? Who can provide my services and how much he would be charging? So all these things we require it. We require a system which can help us to manage these complex scenarios. Okay, scenarios will not be simplified. Scenario would be always complex, but we need some system which can help us to visualize this all of these things so that we would be able to do the better transportation planning and we would be able to save the cost. So optimizing transportation cost is one of the question. Then identify right routes or right trip which is required, which can save the cost. That is a requirement. Complete visibility of inbound and outbound scenario and ease of planning operations. We should be able to do this planning operation easily. Let me tell you, in one of the places where we implemented this SAP TM, the cost of implementing SAP TM was covered by the number of FT was reduced. Okay, in every manufacturing plant and in every distribution center, there are 2 to 3 people. There are 2 to 3 people who was responsible for doing this, arranging the trucks and managing the transportation. So almost 90 multiplied by 3, somewhere around 250 people was there only to manage the transportations, and they also does not have a complete visibility. A guy sitting into the Pune distribution center has a visibility for the Pune. He can decide that from Pune what need to be sent, but he cannot combine that from a Pune truck will go and a customer order is there for another warehouse also, and then it can pick from the another distribution center. Then after picking from 2 distribution center, it can give the delivery to 4 different customers. That would be more preferred way would be there. That kind of visibility they don't have. So we have a lot of people, but still we cannot do the efficient work. So what is done in this case? This 250 people has been reduced. On site there was first only 90 people was there, and then we put it within Bangalore. We put it a hub where around 40 people were sitting, and these people were hired from Infosys. Okay, from 250 we reduced to 90, and then 40 people was hired from Infosys. We trained on the SAP TM, on the SAP transportation cockpit. They were sitting from the Bangalore office and doing the planning for the full country, because with these kind of tools, they were in the transportation cockpit, they were having a visibility, and with that visibility they were able to plan the shipments. They were able to create the shipment, they were able to plan the shipment, and they were able to better do it. So the number of people itself was reduced from 250, initially from 90 plus 40, 130 people. And then further, we were operating after 2 years with 80 people. We further reduced this number of people, right? So from 250 FTs who is managing the transportation with these kind of transportation tools, we came to the 80 FTs, and that is for the one country. That is for the one countries. This is the business which I am talking about, which is having a very big business in more than 50 plus countries. They walk into the almost all of the countries they have a business, but they have a very big business in 50 plus countries. And then this has been rolled out to the multiple different countries. Can anyone guess that how much, what would be the number of years which might have taken to implement this across the 50 countries? How many years it might have taken? Anyone? Srinivas said 2 years. Vijay said 5 years, 1 year, 3 to 5 years. It was nearly 7 to 8 years program, and we did the multiple projects. Okay, we covered a region called Asia region. Uh, a separate project we have covered, and then we have a separate project for North America and South America. A separate project was there. So with that, all I think 2 or 3 different projects to cover the different regions was running parallelly. And with that, multiple projects itself will take between 7 to 8 years to make sure that this model has been implemented across the globe. And then sustainability, again, 3 years took to sustain it. Almost, you can say a program manager who was involved is a 10 years of project. Okay, so these tools are complex. To handle these tools, the people are required. These Infosys people has been onboarded. They has been trained how to operate these tools. Okay, and to implement, we need very specialized people who understand these transportation scenarios and who can understand also that how it need to be built in a system, how SAP TM modules need to build, what kind of master data would be required, what kind of configurations would be required, what kind of planning would be required, right? All of these things a TM consultant need to understand, and then they need to help business to build it. Okay. TM is a module which can be complexer if you compare when you want to learn a TM. Let's say if you spend time to learn SD, okay, just multiply that time with 2 or 3 to learn TM. So if you took let's say if you spend 200 hours of effort to learn SD, you will require somewhere around 600 hours of effort, or 400 to 600 hours of efforts you will require to learn TM because of its complexity, because of its new terminologies, because of its complex configurations, because of its optimization, because of its planning. So many things are there. Okay. Let me check if there is any question which I have missed out, or if you have any question on this drawing, you can feel free to ask. Bharat is asking, TM is familiar with SAP PM, PM, TM, TM, PM. They sound same, but they are completely different modules, Bharat. They are not much linkages between TM and PM. They are completely two different products. Okay, if you have a question, put the question into the chat. If you don't have a question, put NQ quickly. My dear friends, put NQ into the chat. So this techniques that we will be using in the session, that I would be asking you to type something, because when you type something with your fingers, your focus come back to this session. Otherwise, it is very easy to get defocused. I have few questions. Comparing PM to TM, effort for learning. Vijaya, the PM, if somebody has learned PM and the TM is required, PM is also not that easy because it has a new terminology. Some business background is required to learn PM also. So you can say that 1.5 time efforts minimum would be required learning PM to TM. Harish is asking, can we learn SAP TM alone without SAP other functional modules? I would be answering that question, Harish. Just hold on to that question. I would be answering that question I have below, that who can learn TM. There I would be putting more insights. Ki bhaiya, who are the right people who would be able to learn TM? Okay, it's not like everyone should go ahead directly with TM. By understanding the different profiles, we can tell you the different approach. Okay, there are some kind of people who would be there who would be able to directly learn TM, and there would be some kind of people I would be saying no, first learn some core module and then learn TM. I would be explaining to which people what approach can fit in, and we can also discuss at the end with you in detail to understand that what is your current situation, what kind of experience you have, and based on that, I would be able to help you to make a judgment that whether it is good for you to learn TM. EWM to TM, it's the same effort. So EWM is also a complex module. So whatever the efforts you have spent to learn EWM, the similar kind of efforts would be required to learn TM also. Akash is saying, is it bigger module than the SD? It is not bigger than the SD, but it is more complexer than the SD. So SD is the normal sales module, right? So many people are able to easily correlate with the terminology. Sales order would be there, delivery would be there, goods issue would be there. Those scenarios are easy to understand. These scenarios are not that easy to understand unless you have worked as a core transportation guy, a core logistics guy. A lot of new terminologies, a lot of new things will come which you need to understand it first. And then in SD, we don't have planning. Whenever the planning comes, the things become complicated. IBP is too complicated product, even more complicated than the TM because of planning. Okay, to understand how the planning is happening, how system is trying to do the optimization, those things has a complex algorithm behind it. Okay, even to understand those algorithms, 10 to 15% also takes a lot of time. Hima is asking, has the tool become simpler over the versions? Yes, it has become not simpler as such from the business scenarios. It has a complex business scenario. So that complex business scenario mirror, you will see that the complexity is there, but it is now easy to implement. That's where a lot of demand for TM is coming up, because it's easy to implement. I would be covering the architecture part in the tomorrow session. Make sure that you enroll for SAP TM if you want to join the tomorrow session. I would be talking about how the growth has happened, how SAP has moved to TM, what are the different architectures are available, and why the demand of TM is increasing because of its now ease of implementation. Bhavya is asking, was transportation not optimized before SAP TM? In our scenarios, yes, it was not optimized. I tell you the scenario, right? The physical people sitting, using Excel sheets, sitting into the Pune warehouses trying to plan, where he does not have any visibility. And the visibility would not be there in outbound and inbound team also. You will see a lot of waste happening, that where basically you're sending your truck to Pune and the truck is coming empty. And then you have a supplier who is giving you big supplies from Pune itself, right? So that visibility, even outbound and inbound departments, they work separately. Those kind of visibilities would not be there. So those kind of optimizations are not there, right? Before using this product, in one of the scenario which I was talking about, we were using SD, and people were trying to optimize by using Excel sheet, but they were using in their periphery, right? They were optimizing it for their distribution center. They are trying to optimize with outbound scenario. So more people was required and the less optimization was there. With SAP TM, with less people, we get more optimization. That was the question from Bhavya. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Difference between LETRA and TM. Hold on, Padmanabhan. That is the next topic we are going to talk. If I would not be able to explain today, tomorrow is that topic. It is in my mind map. You will check it. What is difference SAP S4 HANA TM to SAP TM 9.2? That is a topic for tomorrow. Tomorrow I would be talking about the architecture, Vinod. In that I would be explaining you. So all of the things which you are asking, you can see my mind map here. So we would be moving ahead with the transport management terminology, different TM products, and then LE versus TM, which you are asking, SAP TM architecture. In this one, we will be talking about SAP TM 9.0 versus S4 HANA embedded TM. We'll be talking about this. So this is a very big course. If you will see, my mind map is big, and this is only for me. Then we have another trainers which will come up to train you the different areas, is because it's require a lot of specialty. So we have a specialized people coming up to train you the different things. I'm specialized into the architecture. I'm specialized into the TM as a business, transportation as a business. I'm specialized into the master data of it. So that part I would be covering it. And then we have another people covering the different things. So a lot of things are there. We will be explaining you step by step. Okay, let me quickly check. Can you help with SAP TM versions and what system we use for training? We are using SAP S/4HANA 2023 for training. TM standalone, VJ, you need to wait for tomorrow's session to answer this question. And I would be spending somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes only on your question tomorrow. Okay, that's a full topic for tomorrow. Bharat is saying, is this an optional module? Everything is optional module. You can implement SAP without using SD. You can implement SD without using MM. Also, you can implement SAP, right? It totally depends what business wants, right? Finance is the one module which is, I will call it as a mandatory. Apart from that finance module, all the other modules are optional. What business wants can be delivered. Okay, so business can work. There are a lot of implementation which is working without TM because their processes are little simplified. Okay, and where the complexity is there in the transportation, then you need those kind of modules. TM is more technical work. No, TM is full functional. This training which we are providing is full functional training. There is no coding required. Okay, although there is some technical part in the TM also, we are basically about people upskill to the TM to learn more about how the enhancement need to be done in TM. That's a separate track. This training is a functional TM training. Joseph. Okay, I'm skipping those questions. LETRA versus S/4HANA. As I said, I have a tile I would be explaining there. What is the difference between WM and TM? That also, Tukba, just hold on, I would be answering it. Will you cover SD part that is required for TM? No, Ashish, we don't cover SD part. We will be expecting you that you already know that core modules learning. That's why I would be suggesting a lot of people first to learn SD. If I learn as cover starting SD and then doing a TM, I go nowhere. So we don't cover any SD. As for SD, we have SD Master course. What is prerequisite for TM? I would be covering. I would be coming to that point. Okay, I'm getting a lot of generic questions. Okay, so I would be parking those generic questions. I would be last answering the Ravikant question, and then we'll be moving it ahead to the terminologies because most of the question I see is a generic question. I will park to the last. You are providing the S/4HANA, whereas ECC and Fiori, we need to integration. Practice will make more. You're providing the S/4HANA, whereas ECC and Fiori, we need to integrate practice, make interesting this course. We are giving this training on S/4HANA, not into the ECC. But if you want to integrate between ECC and S/4HANA, Fiori would be definitely would be there. You need to understand that require a lot of efforts. It require almost 20 days of efforts, me, my consultants, and the basis team to upgrade this test system, our sandbox system to S/4HANA. Now the integration require a lot of efforts. Although people wants कि हाँ sir, इसको different system got integrated, make more interesting, but you need to understand the cost get multiplied with it. These all systems come with the cost. These integration come with the cost. When I will say that, okay, that much I am charging for the training. No, sir, can I have a 10% discount? Can I have a 20% discounts? We have given those trainings to the corporate where we have integrated logistics business network, integrated S/4HANA, integrated ECC, and then the trainings has been given for the corporate. Only for this setup itself, 50 lakh rupees has been charged. 50 lakh rupees only to do the setup, server, training courses separate. So you need to understand the tools and the techniques we are talking about are too expensive in nature. Okay, so with the optimal cost to provide it to you, what we can do it is do the training on S/4HANA. That's what we will be doing. Okay. Now I'm jumping into, I will come back. I have answered till Ravikant question. I see more generic questions are there. I will take it last. Let's cover some topics. Okay, you all came to get some knowledge, right? I want to make sure at least if you're going after today's session, you should be going after getting some knowledge so that you have some basic understanding at least कि भैया transportation है क्या, why we need to implement TM, भैया होता क्या है वो छोड़ दो, but करना क्यों है? A lot of people who learn TM, I take the interviews, and when I ask that कि भैया why business needs it, they don't have answer to the why. right? So at least you understand कि why these kind of products are required. If you understand that, मेरा आज का सेशन सार्थक हो जाएगा. Today's session would be beneficial. I would say that I have delivered something. Now, it's very important to understand transportation management terminology. I have seen a lot of consultants when we were delivering this transportation management modules. Consultants coming and try to do the consulting. They have learned the TM, but there are a lot of terminologies are there which still they don't understand. Still they are confused कि भैया consigner क्या है, कौन consigner है, कौन consignee है, shipper कौन है, who is the shipper, okay, what is the difference between LSP, who is the carrier, who is freight forwarder, who is freight provider, okay, so there are so many terminologies are there. Terminologies which I am telling you right now, it is more, 4 times more terminologies are there. I cannot put everything here. Then you will say कि sir it's too complex. I think I will not be able to do it, right? I am trying to put a simple basic terminology because I understand many of you would be jumping into TM module without working into the transportation operations. Many of you might have not worked on any of the transportation operations also, right? And you would be jumping into it, right? So I want to understand that you understand the terminology which is used in industry so that you would be able to learn. I always tell if you want to learn something, first try to learn the business of it. कि भैया business क्या है? If you understand the business, then you will be able to understand that how a IT tool can be applied, how IT tool can be configured to adopt those business scenarios. So understanding business terminology and the business processes are very important. So that knowledge would be continuing the 40 hours of instructor-led training, which we are going to provide you. Every session, there would be some business processes, business knowledge will be giving it to you. But very basics to set the platform for everyone. Let's talk about transportation management terminologies. अरे भैया ये क्या हो गया तो पूरा एक्सपांड हो गया. Let me go step by step. Okay. Okay, let me draw the diagram again, then it would be easy for you to understand. And I will be asking few questions to you to engage you. Okay, so be ready to answer the questions. And if any question which is unanswered, I have not able to answer it, just copy those questions, and when we'll jump into the last, just copy paste again. I would sit here till 10, 11, whatever the time it takes to answer all of your questions. Okay, I'm clearing this off and we are going again, and I will draw a similar kind of thing. So we are having this distribution center. Okay. Distribution center is, if people don't know that what is distribution center, because the people are from ABAP also. We have our manufacturing plant where we are doing a manufacturing. From manufacturing plant, the finished goods has been given to a distribution center. And in the distribution center, we store the finished goods. This is very common make to stock scenarios, where in the distribution centers, the product has been stored. These distribution centers would be near to your customer so that we can quickly supply to the customer. So we will be storing the finished good. And from there, we are supplying to our customer. Okay. Now, this party who is from where the shipment will go. This is what is source. This is what destination. Source is there, destination is there. Okay. And we also call it as a consigner. And this would be consignee. I see people, business talk about this terminology, consigner, consignee, and a lot of people who does not know the basic business, they confuse कि भैया बातचीत क्या चल रही है, what the business is talking about, right? So the party who is sending is a consigner, party who is receiving is consignee. Consignee, in this case, we also call customer is consignee. Your destination location is consignee. Okay. Or this also, who is shipping, is also sometimes called as shipper. Who is shipping is called as a shipper. So this is my consigner. Okay. And this is my consignee. If I am having another scenario where basically my vendor is sending a product to me. So this is my vendor, which is also called it as a supplier. He's transferring the product to me. Okay. And in this case, because he's shipping the product, he will become, for this scenario, if we talk about in the transportation where he's sending and we are receiving, he will become a consigner, and this will become consignee for this scenario. For one other scenario where basically customer in sending us return, Bhaiya, I don't like your product, you take it back. Customer is sending me the return. For return case, can you tell me quickly in the chat, who would be the consigner and who would be the consignee? Who would be the consigner and who would be the consignee? Quickly in the chat. Customer is consigner. Customer is consigner, right? In this case, customer will become my consigner. And I will become consignee. Customer remains always a customer. Distribution center remains always a distribution center. But when it comes to the transportation, the movement of the transportation or the way it is moving, the direction it is moving can change the terminology consigner or consignee. So don't get confused here. Kabhi to sometime business talk customer as a consigner and sometime customer become consignee. So don't get confused. It depends on your transportation, in which direction the transportation is happening. Now, what would be the relation between your source, you and the customer? Your source, you and the customer would be having so the customer would be giving you a purchase order, right? So there would be a purchase order which customer will give you because he wants to purchase. And at your side, at the distribution center side, you would be having a sales order or a sales contract can be there. So that terminology also you need to understand. People get confused a lot. So customers will be giving a purchase order so that we can supply to him. Okay. This purchase order is to supply, let's say, finished goods. And we'll be creating a sales order in this system in our consigner system. We will be creating our sales order or the sales contract can be there. So in our system, if we are talking about SAP implemented in this system, the relationship, the document, the relationship between this and this is your sales order or sales contract is linking you and the customer. That would be the major document. That would be the major document, right? Then you will require a transportation lane. A lane is by which you would be shipping it to the consignor. So for that, you will require a vehicle. A vehicle is a unit which is used to transport your material. Okay, vehicle is a unit which is used to transport your vehicle. Okay, now this vehicle, sometime in some cases, there can be few vehicles which we would be owning it. As our distribution center, we can have our own few vehicles, but that would be in a bigger scenario, very less. we would require this vehicle from someone. Who provides the vehicle? What is the terminology used? Quickly in the chat. What is the terminology used for the companies who provide the vehicle, who owns the vehicle? And now I'm telling you the terminology which I would be telling you, it's not 100% correct. Different regions, different countries, different business can call them differently. Vipul said carrier, carrier. Very good. Yes. Harish said, is SO and PO is another terminology for consignee and consigner? No, no. SO and PO is the relationship document between your consigner and consignee. Okay. With the document, that the paper document which will be given, or through the fax or through the email, customer will give you a purchase order. Purchase order does not mean that it is a synonym of consigner or consignee. It's a document to purchase something. And we create a sales order to sell something. So those are the documents created in the system. Carrier is the right answer. So carrier. So this would be called carrier. Okay. Who is carrying the vehicle, who is owning the transportation, right? So they would be these companies will call carrier. I will go to the mind map and will give you some example company names also who manage this. Okay. The carriers can be different. We can have a different ports, okay, who transfer your material from sea. They are the different carriers. Different airlines also help to handle the cargoes to transfer your material from one place to another place. So though they are also called as a carriers, right? Now there would be the different regions, different carriers would be there. Okay, you will see when you go to the Punjab side, Haryana side, there are the different companies who provide in that region, they control the transportation. So there can be the different carriers is there. On top of the carrier, we have one more terminology. On top of the carrier, we have one more terminology, which is your freight forwarder, or sometimes is also called freight provider. Now, who is freight forwarder or who is freight provider? Freight forwarder is little bit bigger company than a carrier who would be associating with the multiple carriers and would be knowing in which region, which carriers provide the services, what is their capacity they have, okay? And they would also be knowing that what rate they are charging. And they would also be having a capacity taken. Okay, the freight provider or freight provider can have a capacity taken from the carrier that in this region, you would be providing me the 20 trucks. Some cases, some places, the freight provider can also own the truck. Okay, I will tell you that there the three terminology we'll talk about: carrier, freight forwarder or freight provider, and the LSP. Now, these one guy can be called out of any one of these three in the different region, in the different business, in the different country. So there is no hardcore definitions for it. Okay, I'm telling you that what generic people goes for it, but in a business, you can see that the carrier has been called as a freight forwarder or freight provider also. But generally, freight forwarder and freight provider are a little bigger company. They can have their own systems. Okay, they can have their own SAP systems. Okay, a carrier can be owning a 20 different trucks. A freight forwarder and freight provider is a guy who can own some trucks, but he knows that in different regions who provides the trucks, how much is the cost. If I give you the simple example, a taxi driver who comes to pick you, if you book a taxi from Uber, so that taxi driver, many taxi drivers would be owning their taxi. So they own the taxi. And in some cases, there would be some people, they would be owning 4 or 5 taxis and they have put the drivers for it. So those people who owns 4 or 5 taxi or those guy who is coming to pick you up, He is a carrier. He is a carrier. But you have taken the services from the Uber. What Uber is doing? Uber does not own the taxi. Uber in this case is your freight provider. Uber is arranging a taxi for you because Uber knows in which area, who are the different taxi drivers are available, which different taxis are available, how much they will cost you, and when the availability can be made to you. Uber has all the information, right? Uber does not own any transportation. They just have a platform. In this platform, they have all the information which can help you to get connected with your right carrier at right price, right? So you decide that what kind of car you needed, whether you need a big car, small car, and based on that, Uber would be getting connected with you. Okay, this guy will come to pick you up, that much you need to pay, and we provide to the freight provider, and the carrier comes, driver picks up, and drop us to the destination. That is a very simple example to understand a difference between a carrier and a freight provider. Okay, freight provider is a bigger company. Generally, they don't own the transportation, but they can own the transportation, but not full transportation. Some area they are strong, some regions they are strong, so they can have their own truck, but they have a bigger systems. They can also have a SAP system where they have all the informations available and they have a capacities available. They know that in which region, what kind of different trucks are available, who is the right carrier to provide it, how much it would be charging it. All the information they would be having. Okay, those are the freight providers. I will talk about the LSP, but now I want to talk about the relationship between carrier, freight forwarder, and we, us. Okay, so in general, in this scenario, we don't have any linkage with the carrier. We don't have any direct linkage with the carrier, I would say. There's the indirect linkage, but we don't have a direct linkage. Our linkage would be with the freight provider. What would be our linkage with the freight provider? Okay, our linkage with the freight provider would be it can be a freight contract, which we can put into the system, or it can be a service PO, service purchase order. So this freight forwarder is also called as a subcontractor. Or third-party logistics. Sometimes also, not the third-party logistics is used in a different way, but they are called as the subcontractors. They are actually supplier for us. These suppliers, they are not supplying any products, any raw materials to us, but they are supplying the services. They are supplying us the transportation services. So they can have a contract with us, okay, rather than we have getting connected with the different carriers. We try to prefer to connect with the different freight providers, because if you in a bigger business like within a country doing a business into 120 plus places and connected with so many carriers there, rather than we try to connect with the 10 to 15 different freight forwarders or freight providers. Okay, so we would be having a service purchase order, and against the service purchase order, we would be paying to the freight forwarder. We will not be paying anything to the carrier. Will not pay anything to the carrier. There would be a relationship between carrier and the freight forwarder. Okay, where basically the freight forwarder would be further giving a service PO to the carrier. Okay, and then carrier would be charging to the freight forwarder. But this relation, we are not bothered. If we talk about implementing SAP here in this scenario to the distribution center for this company, we are not bothered that what is carrier is having with the freight forwarder. What kind of contract purchase order, that would not be in our system. Our system, we will be having a service PO, a service purchase order for the freight provider. Okay, because we are taking the services and we need to pay to it, right? And that need to goes into the system. So that would be the relationship. Okay, now I will be talking about the third part, that is the logistics service provider. If you have any question, quickly put into the chat till this point. If you don't have a question, put NQ. I would request you, please don't put the generic questions. Okay. I would answer all of your generic question at the end. Try to put the relevant questions. Okay. For this slide, if you have a relevant question for this slide, which is going in front of you, which we have discussed in last 15 minutes, if any question relevant to this is there, please ask it. If you don't have a question, put NQ, okay? Okay, forwarding agent, for freight forwarder, freight provider. This is the part I have discussed about. That was one of the questions. What is LSP then? LSP, I will explain you, Bharat. I will explain LSP. Subcontractor, one scenario, please. This is a subcontractor. This freight forwarder is a subcontractor. Okay, this is called a subcontractor. This is another terminology. The same scenario, Nagaraja, this is a subcontractor. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. A different terminology. That's it. So subcontractor is when we, subcontractor as a terminology is used, when we don't do the things by ourselves, but we delegate to the other company. Then we call it as a subcontractor, right? A lot of people get confused. Ki, subcontracting means that we'll be sending a raw material to some company. They will do the operation. They will send it back to us. That is a subcontracting. यहाँ पे तो कुछ send कर ही नहीं रहे हम, right? Subcontracting means that anything, it can be service, it can be product, which rather than you doing it, you are offloading it, you are delegating to another company. In this case, rather than we managing our own I would not say manage to करना ही पड़ता है. Rather than we executing the own, rather than we having our own truck, rather than we having our own drivers, we take that services from the freight forwarder. So in this case, freight forwarder is my subcontractor. Srinivas has a question, a difference between a freight contract and a subcontract. Difference between freight contract and subcontract. There's no subcontract I have said here. This is subcontractor. This is not subcontract, this is subcontractor. Okay. Freight contract is this is your freight contract. Between this and this party, you have freight contract. With subcontractor, you have a freight contract. That's why I say that terminology can be very confusing. It's a simple terminology, but it confuses many people. So there's no subcontract. This is subcontractor is having a freight contract with you. Harish asked me, can you please repeat the freight forwarder? Yes, I would love to repeat. Please listen carefully if you have missed it. Freight forwarders would be the ones who knows the full network. Always try to remember to get the clarity in your mind. The example which I have given for Uber, they are basically a taxi driver who owns the taxi is coming to pick you up is a carrier. Okay. And you have asked Uber to provide that services to you. The taxi does not belong to Uber. The driver does not belong to Uber. That taxi and driver is giving services to Uber. So Uber becoming a freight forwarder. Uber has taken the freight services from us. He has identified who is the right carrier available at right price, send it to you to pick you up and send to your destination. So Uber become a freight forwarder who does not owns the transport vehicles, but he owns the transport network. He, in his system, the knowledge and information is there for the full transport network. What are the different car drivers are available at what place, at what time? He can connect you to them easily, right? Rather than you connecting to driver, भैया तुम available हो, कितना पैसा लोगे? Uber guy can do it better, right? So Uber become a freight forwarder. In transportations, in general, when I give the example of Uber, Uber does not own the taxis. no other taxi drivers. In this transportations, logistics transportations, there can be some cases where basically freight forwarder also have, in some regions, they can have their own trucks. They can have their own truck drivers. And in another region, many in other regions, they are connected with carriers to get you those trucks provided. That was a question from Harish. To repeat it. Who is called shipper? This is shipper. LSP, I will come. LSP, I don't want to bombard you with everything. The next thing I'm going to explain you is LSP. So this is a shipper. So the company who is producing it and company who is distributing it, production is not important. There can be the company who's buying it and then distributing it. The company who is distributing the product, who owns the product, is the shipper. Again, I am repeating, company who produce it, owns the product, or they distribute the product, they are the ones, okay, they are the ones, the owner of the products are the shipper. It's called the shipper scenario. There are two different scenarios in SAP TM. We have a shipper scenario and we have LSP scenario. First, you need to understand what is difference between shipper and LSP. Because the question has been asked, I will explain now the LSP also. So this is a shipper, where basically product belongs to us. We are the shipper. Now, who is the LSP? LSP as a terminology is used for logistics service provider. LSPs are also sometimes called third-party logistics. LSP actually can go beyond. It's even a bigger company than this freight forwarder. It can have everything what a freight forwarder has. Okay, and there is a very thin line between LSP and the freight forwarder. In some countries, the same example, they call it LSP. In another countries, they're calling it freight forwarder. Okay, but I will tell you the generic difference. LSP is a bigger company than the freight forwarder. LSP is the company which also helps you. We are talking about the transportations here. LSPs are the companies which also have their own warehouses. It's called logistics service provider. In logistics, this also comes to storing the product. So they can also have their warehouses. So there's at this distribution center, my dear friend, you don't worry. The distribution center which you require, so when a company expands, right? So they need to build a distribution center at the different places, right? They need to put a different distribution center in Pune. They need to put a distribution center in Lucknow. They need to put a distribution center in Mumbai, in Bangalore, different cities, near the major customer, they need to put distribution centers. But these companies, if they put everywhere their own distribution center, they take their own land, build a distribution center, and put a team there. Sometimes they just need a small area. And for that small area, if they want to put a separate team, separate network, separate system, they need to put it, it is very costly. Then you would not be able to expand that business as fast as you want to do it. Then the LSP comes into the picture. LSP said, ki, bhaiya, what you do, you don't worry about those things. You are the one who is the owner of the product. You focus on producing the product. Distribution will take care of. In distribution, your manufacturing plant can send to our distribution centers, can send to our warehouses. Example of LSP can be your DHL. DHL have different warehouses available in the different cities. And these can also be the shared warehouses, or if you need a bigger space, they can provide you your individual warehouse where basically only your product would be there. So DHL has a team, DHL has a system, DHL has a network, DHL has a warehouse which says, I will store your product. You send it to me, I will store your product. You let me know when it need to be dispatched to whom. So for that, I might be able to do the transportation also for you. I would be able to get the transportation also arranged with you. I would be able to get you connected with the carrier if a direct connection with the carrier is required, or I would be able to connect with you the freight forwarder and provide the freight services also. So LSP is a bigger company who has the services which freight forwarder or freight provider have, but they can have more services. They can also provide you the warehouses where you can store the product. So those are the LSP companies. They provide the logistics, end-to-end logistics services. There can be some companies where basically LSP, you are saying, ki boss, you do one thing, you just give me the warehouse, I will store the material, you make sure that warehouse operation, you do it, and I would be using a freight forwarder, different freight forwarder for the transportation. That kind of scenarios can also happen. So LSP would be charging you for the operations, which is does within the warehouse, and they can also provide the services to transport. So that is the difference between LSP, freight forwarder, and carrier. Again, thin differences there. You will see in SAP, we are creating SAP, this terminology which I'm explaining it to you based on the business terminology. It's not right now, we are not into the SAP terminology. It's the business terminology. I will come to SAP when we jump into SAP, what we are creating in system, what we are calling it in SAP. You will see it can be a freight forwarder, but in SAP we created a carrier master data, right? That's why this module become a little complex. Different terminology, business is talking something, SAP is talking something. That's where a functional consultant is required to grab all this confusion and to simplify for your client. That's where the TM consultants are required, right? So that is the difference. LSP, freight forwarder, freight provider, carrier, consigner, consignee, shipper, purchase orders, subcontractor, freight contract, service PO, a lot of terminology I've talked about, vendor, supplier, right? I hope this terminology will make little things clear in your mind. I will jump into mind map to give you some examples and check if we have missed anything in this terminology. And then I will get back into the questions that if you have relevant question to this, I will go and answer. Okay. The relationship we have talked about. Let's quickly revise. We talked about consigner. Okay, we talked about the consignee. Consigner and consignee is linked with the purchase contract, which is created in consigner system as a sales order. Then we are connected with the freight forwarder. With freight forwarder, we have a freight forwarder contract. Freight forwarder would be having its own contract with the carriers. Okay, there can be a freight contract between freight forwarder and the carrier also. That will not go if we are implementing SAP in this system. This freight contract will not go in our system. We talked about shipper. Who is shipper? Consigner, who owns the product, is a shipper. We talked about consignee. Who is receiving it is consignee. We talked about carrier. They own the transports. Example for the carriers are ABC Limited. All airlines are the carriers. Okay, Cochin Shipyard, SR Shipyards, the shipyards are also carriers. Freight forwarder or freight provider are the freight brokers or the freight agents. Again, different terminology. Freight broker, freight agent, freight forwarder, freight provider, subcontractor. Different terminologies, but same thing. Example, APT Logistics, Airborne International, Seal Freight, they all comes into the freight forwarder category. Then we talked about the logistics service provider. Example for the logistics service provider is DHL Supply Chain and GXO Logistics. There are few examples who are the LSPs, logistics service provider, or they are also called third-party logistics. We talked about the purchase contract, which is the contract between us and the customer. We talked about the freight contract. Freight contract would be the contract between the freight forwarder and the carrier. And between us and the freight forwarder, we will be having a freight forwarder contract. Now, before I go to the loads, shipment types, tendering, Incoterm, those terminology, let me take a quick break and check if you have any question. Again, questions on the topic, generic question, we'll still park it. After 8:30, I will start taking the generic questions. Okay, so do we maintain the carrier in the name of the freight forwarder or the carrier itself? Now this is a tricky question, Bright. It depends if you're maintaining if you're maintaining in the system, in SAP system. Again, in SAP system, it's a service provider for you. Whether it owns its own vehicle or whether it does not owns its vehicle, it does not matter to you. It does not matters to you. So in SAP terminology, when you will create the master data, I would be asking that create a carrier. Okay, so carrier can be the freight forwarder also, LSP also, or carrier also we create as a carrier master data. Because we are not bothered, right? He owns the transportation or not, or he is taking from someone else and giving it to us. But from business understanding, because when you will go into the workshop discussions, these all different terminologies would be called so that you don't get confused. I don't want to confuse more. When we'll jump into the master data, you will see we'll be creating a carrier for it. Bharat Kumar is asking, is Amazon a LSP? Amazon is beyond LSP. Amazon, we can call it, I was calling LSP is a third-party logistics, right? Amazon can be a four-party logistics. You should think about in the 3PL logistics or in LSP, what we are doing, we are I see one of the hand is raised. Just hold on to your question. Let me first make this clarified. This is we. We have taken a distribution center from a third-party logistics or LSP. Okay. And this is our customer. And we are, in this case, a shipper. Our product is here in this distribution center, stored and managed by LSP, and he can also transport it. Customer comes to us and asks, I need a material. Okay, customer comes to us. So the PO contract is with us, purchase contract with us. We send the information, ki boss, this customers require the delivery, and then this distribution center, this LSP picks the material up from the distribution center and supply it to the customer and send the information back to us. I have done what you have asked for. But what is happening in Amazon? Amazon is having a purchase contract directly with the customer. Okay. We as a shipper does not have a purchase contract. Amazon has a purchase contract. So Amazon is also doing selling for you. Your sales also is managed by Amazon. You are supplying it to Amazon, to the Amazon warehouses, or you are directly shipping it. But Amazon is making sure the invoicing to this customer, he does it on behalf of you. So yeah, he would be handling the selling operations for you. He would also make sure the invoices has been sent to the customer. He will also take care if customer have any problem, he would be connecting Amazon first, right? But here we are having direct linkage with shipper, right? So this is sometimes called, this Amazon business sometimes called as four-party logistics. So they are taking care of the sales, they are taking care of the storage, they are also helping us into the distribution. Okay. So this was a question related to Amazon. LSP organization names I have provided. Nagaraj is asking till what time will go? 8:30. I will cover my content till 8:30. After 8:30, I would be sitting here to answer all the people's question because people need to have to register. Aman Bhupender, please provide the link to register for the training. Because tomorrow's session you might not be able to attend it if you have not registered. Again, a generic question, whiteboard presentations would be shared. We have a mind map, which is shared. We have a separate product for the mind map. Contract and dedicated vehicle basis, contract and dedicated vehicle basis, what we will call. Velu, you need to elaborate your question. Okay. You need to elaborate a little bit of your question. Okay, Akhil, do you have any specific question? You have raised hand. I hope you have a question relevant to the content we are covering. I'm giving you unmute access.
Yeah, I have a question. In somewhere you mentioned there is a a contract between the freight forwarded and the DC. Now,
Freight forwarder and
DC distribution channel or the sales organization. Now, my question is, this contract will be, let's say there is a scenario where we have a parent company, right? And under that parent company, let's say a Tata Group. Under Tata Group, we have multiple Tata companies, right? Now, this contract will be directly between the freight forwarder and the Tata main company, or it can be between the Tata sales organization, different Tata sales organization, or the freight forwarder.
Okay, so it can be differently. It totally depends how the system has been managed. What I understand that this different Tata group of companies has been created in different SAP system. Okay, not only the company codes, in many Tata companies, they're using different SAP system itself. Right? In that case, you cannot have a single contract in your system because your SAP system itself is different. So you would be having, in general, you would be having your contract at your sales organization level.
My pinpoint question was this. The contract will be between the sales organization and the freight forwarder. That will be more
Yes.
more specific. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that was a question which has been answered. I'm moving it ahead. There are a little bit more terminologies which we need to understand. Loads. Loads also we'll be talking about. Let me minimize this. So we will be talking about FTL, LTL, FCL, LCL. This is another terminology. If you are having a discussion with your client, they keep on talking. This is LCL, this is FTL, this is LTL. So that is basically nothing. Full truckload, less than truckload. FCL is full container load. LCL is less than container load. Okay. So let's say if we are having a truck like this. Okay. This is your truck. Now, we always try to make a truck full truckload so that its capacity can be utilized properly. Okay. Now, in this truck, if I say you need to answer this, I have this steel coil. Okay. And this is a 20 ton. Is this only that area has been covered? There's one steel coil is there. Is it a full truckload or is it a less than truckload? Some people said it's full truckload. Some people said less than truckload. Okay. So there are the two major things we need to consider it. First is the weight. Second is the volume. Okay. So if this is a truck which can carry the capacity of 20 ton, this is a 20 ton truckload truck which can carry maximum 20 ton. You will see that the big trucks are moving and only one steel coil is put it on it and rest all is empty. It looks like that It is not fully loaded, but it can be fully loaded if it is capacity of 20 ton. Although this area is empty, this area is empty, but this truck, if it does not carry more than 20 ton, then this is a full truckload. But if you say that this is a 25 ton truckload, it can carry up to 25 tons, and you have loaded a 20 ton of steel coil, then this is a less than truckload. This would be LTL, less than truckload. Okay, so it depends on the weight and volume. There can be a scenario where basically it is fully filled with the cotton and only 8 ton is the weight. But from volume wise, it is fully completed. Then also it's a full truckload. From volume basis, it's a full truckload. So in this case, if my truck load is 20 ton, I have 20 ton steel coil on it. Although a lot of empty space is there, but it would be called as a full truckload. Exactly similar example would be there for FCL and LCL. FCL and LCL are full container load or less than container load. Full container load or less than container load is FCL and LCL. Then we have a different shipment types. Single leg shipment, multi-leg shipment, drop shipment, milk runs. So single leg shipment is the shipment which we have talked about, right? That I have my distribution center. From my distribution center, I am sending it to my customer. This is single leg shipment. Then I can have a multi-leg shipment where basically it goes from this customer one, it goes to another customer for delivery, it goes to another customer, then it comes back. So there is a multi-leg is there. First leg, second leg, third leg, multi-leg is there. So this is multi-leg shipments. Okay. There can be also multi-carrier shipments. So if I'm sending it my product from distribution center, it goes to the port. From port, it goes towards with ocean. On the ocean scenarios, it goes to the destination port. And from the destination port, again, it goes to the customer. So here a ship is involved. Here you have truck. Here you have truck. So there can be a situation that this is done by the different carrier. This would be done by the ocean carrier, and this can be done with a different carrier. So multi-leg shipment, if also have multiple carriers, it's called multi-carrier shipment. It's called the multi-carrier shipment. That is the terminology which is used, multi-carrier shipment. Yes, Ramesh, volume and capacity both would be considered. Any one is full, we'll call it FTL. Then we have a drop shipment. Drop shipment is called, is a very common terminology. If you have done SG, you might be knowing it, that we are having this as a customer. He is ordering from us. This is us as a supplier in this case. Is ordering from us, but we are saying our vendor, we are passing this information to our vendor. And we are saying that, boss, you directly supply to the customer. So this is called drop shipment. Where my vendor is supplying to my customer directly, although the purchase contract is with me. Then we have milk runs. Milk run is generally used, let's say we have this, not very good in the drawings. This is manufacturing unit. And then we have a distribution center. So what we do, and this distribution center is not very far. What we do, every shift, okay, or sometimes it's every 2 hours, every shift in the morning, 7 a.m., a truck will go here. Whatever has been produced, it will ship it to the distribution center. Then second shift, 2 p.m., truck will go. Whatever has been produced, shipped to distribution center. Then 9 p.m., truck will go. Whatever we produce will load and will send it to the distribution center. That's what we do. So that's a milk run. Every 7 a.m. it need to go, whether the truck is fully loaded or not. Every 2 p.m. it need to go. Every 9 p.m. it need to go. Is the set of frequency, and at that set of frequency, truck will come. Whatever has been produced would be loaded and given to the distribution center. It's kind of called milk run. You receive the milk in your house every morning, 6 a.m., right? By default, every morning, 6 a.m., 6 a.m., the milk run supply chain has been managed accordingly. You get the milk in the morning. Similar way, if you have some places where basically at set of frequency, transportation would be arranged. So in this kind of cases where manufacturing unit does not hold the stock with them, whatever they produce, all the stock would be given to the distribution center. So this is a particular scenario of a milk run. Some cases, the milk run, when business is talking about, you need to talk. Some cases, for this, we are basically have set, same truck need to go. Sometime business, the shipper also, we also own the trucks. We also have the drivers also with us. Because there's a set frequency, we need to do it. For this kind of cases, there can be some cases where the trucks belongs to the business itself. Padmanabhan is asking milk runs like multi pickups and multi drops, not necessary, but can be. Not necessary, but can be. Milk run is more where basically you do the things with a set of frequency, with the same set of frequency every day morning. Jay is asking, can drop shipment be a single or multi-segment or multi-carrier? Yes, it can be multi-carrier. Your drop shipment can be multi-carrier. Yes, drop shipment is a third-party sales. Ramesh, drop shipment is a third-party sales. Mojid is asking, what about if the truck is empty, so we don't send it? It's not that hard and fast, sir. आपने बोला है सुबह 6 बजे जाना है. Even the material is not there, send the empty truck. The strike is going on. We are not producing, but the truck will go. No, that kind of things does not happen. So if the truck is empty, it will not go. Should we plan for drop shipment? Our supplier will deliver goods directly to customer as per our contract in terms of TM. So Senthil, that totally depends on whether we want to handle the transportation or we want our suppliers to handle the transportation. In most of the cases, in many of the cases, will not be having a TM included for the drop shipment if our supplier is arranging a transportation. Okay. But in some kind of cases where you will say that, oh, yeah, transportation I will take care of, because when the truck is going to the customer, from there I can bring my raw material back to my location. That kind of things I want to plan it. Then you can say the transportation is I am doing. There can be a different Incoterm can be there for it. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. So we'll cover this quickly, the topic, and then the different terminology, and then we'll be jumping into the questions, which you have the general questions. So far we have covered the shipment types. Just give me a minute. Okay, I will come to the questions. It's just a little bit of the part is remaining. I will quickly cover. So we covered the shipment types, we covered what is the loads, full truckload, less than truckloads, we covered the different contracts, we covered what is freight forwarder, LSP, carrier, difference between it, and what is the relationship as per the contracts. And we also discuss about the shipper, consigner, consignee concept. Okay. Then there is one terminology which will be called as a tendering. Tendering is nothing, I'm explaining you from the business point of view, that if we are having here, if you are the one, okay, and we want to supply to our customer, and we say that, boss, I need here this particular truck, which will be 20-ton truck, 12 feet is what I require it. Then I go and check for different freight forwarders. I check with them that this is my requirement, you tell me, or different carrier, you can say, I can go and check with the carriers that this is my requirement and this is my tender, and you let me know whether you would be able to provide me and at what cost you would be able to provide me. So the tender would be open that this service is required, and this freight provider would be able to submit to the tender that this is the cost, this is availability, the capacity at our end, and this is the cost we would be able to provide you for this shipment. So you reaching out to the different freight provider, sending them that this is your requirement, this process, and then selecting one of the freight forwarder, okay, this is the one who would be doing the services for me. This process is called tendering. As simple as putting out a tender that this is my requirement, you tell me who can do it, who would be able to provide me the better services with the better cost, we will provide to him. Okay, as simple as that. So that process is called tendering. We will be covering, we have the tendering process in SAP, we'll be covering how to do the tendering within SAP. Okay. So this is tendering, and then we have Incoterms. There can be the multiple different Incoterms would be there, and Incoterms can be used in TM as a location also. I don't want you confused with that concept, but we'll be talking about when we'll set a master data. You will see that with the Incoterm, how the planning can be done differently in the TM. But in general, you should be knowing the Incoterm because business would be using these terminologies a lot. So I have given you that quick screenshot by which you can come to know that what would be the different Incoterms would be there. Okay. So in this case, let me make it a little shorter so that you are able to see it fully. So there can be some particular Incoterms. So these are the particular Incoterms which is only used for the sea, for the water, when we are doing a transport on the water, sea or inland waterway, when we are doing, then these are used. These are the ones which can be used for any purpose. Okay. Incoterms defined that who would be owning what things. Okay. Who would be owning what things. X works. Okay. EXW means it's buyers. Most of the things is responsibility of a buyer who is buying it. They need to arrange everything if it is X work. Export packaging, and generally Incoterms is majorly used for the export scenarios only. In the export scenarios, we need to understand that what is the responsibility areas between buyers and sellers. It is used in the domestics also, but majorly it came for the export business. Right? So in case of EXW, X works, the buyer, seller is having a responsibility of only the packaging, and you will see it is designed like that way. When you go from left to right, more and more seller responsibility increase, and the buyer would be having a less responsibility. Okay. The loading, delivery at the port, loading on the carriage, freight charges, everything buyer is carrying it. If it is EXW, okay. If it is FCA, free carrier, then it's seller responsibility for the export packaging, loading, delivery to the port. Okay, export duties has been paid by the seller. This is seller responsibility. Okay. So in general, it is good because what you are going to do, you are going to consult in the transport business, and business would be very frequently asking that in the FOB case, what we would be doing. Now, we FOB case hota kaun sa hai, right? This is the FOB case, free on board at port, right? So you should be knowing this terminology. This will help you to do a better consulting. This single picture itself, if you take a screenshot and then you go through it, it would be more than enough what you need to know. Okay, but go through it. I'm also providing you one link. I will put the link in the chat. I think it should be there. You can, to understand more onto the Incoterms, you can use this link. How this Incoterm would be used for SAP TM, we would be talking when we'll set up the master data. As I said, there are the different planning we can do it by putting Incoterm, and Incoterm locations can also be created. Here it goes to you. Okay, so this is a blog link. You can go through the Incoterm blog and have a quick read to it. As a TM consultant, you would be expected that these terminology would be used in discussion and workshop. You should be aware about these terminologies. Okay, so that you are not blank. FOB, what is FOB? I don't know. Right? You don't sit with a blank face. Then the two last things is settlement and the charge calculation. So what is settlement and what is the charge calculation? So this is V and this is our carrier, right? So we are taking services from the carrier and we need to also pay to the carrier. Oh, okay. Although the material is going from us to the customer. That's where the material is going. But this carrier is carrier or a freight forwarder. He is providing the services. So we need to settle with the carrier that for this shipment, we need to pay him. So that is to calculate how much I need to pay him. That's called the charge calculation. Based on the distance, based on the vehicle, based on the kilometers used, there can be a different charge calculation sheet can be there. And based on that charge calculation sheet, we need to calculate and we need to identify how much we need to pay. So charge calculation is nothing, but based on the charge sheet, we need to identify what was the load, whether it is coming back empty or it's a two-way, and how many kilometers it has run for, what is the contract with the carrier or freight forwarder, and based on the charge sheet, identifying what charge we need to provide it, how much we need to give it, provide it to the carrier. That is the charge calculation. And then for this charge calculation, there would be a service PO, there would be service entry sheet, and again the service entry sheet, we need to do the payment to the vendor. This cycle is called the settlement. For the services he provided, there would be a service PO created for it. Service entry sheet has been entered and the payment has been done. So this would be having a strong linkage with MM. TM always have a strong linkage with MM, SD, and FICO. FICO a little less, but more MM and SD, it has a strong linkage. When it comes to the settlement part, it would be having a very strong linkage with the MM. And when it comes to this part, to the shipment execution to the customer, it would be having very strong linkage with SD. That's why many of the SD and MM consultant, they ended up learning TM, right? Okay, so now I would be jumping into the question, but before I jump into the question, as I told you that there is some generic question which people are asking, and earlier it has been asked and you would be having. So this TM products, TM submodules, I would be covering in the next session. What are the different TM products are there, different TM submodules are there, I would be covering in the tomorrow session. Today, before we end the session, I at least want you to make you understand who can learn TM. Okay, who can learn TM? Okay, so TM is a module which can be used for upskill yourself to get a lot of requirements from the to get a lot of new opportunities which is coming it up, right? So a lot of experienced consultant, especially the SD expert, MM expert, it's kind of a very good module for you to upskill, to learn, so that you would be able to go into the TM opportunities. So if you are a SD expert, if you are a MM expert, sourcing and procurement expert, you want to add on the module, TM can be very good module to be add on. If you are the TM end user or TM core user, if you have worked with SAP TM as the end user or SAP TM as a core user, and it is not limited to TM, if you have used another products also, if you use OTM, end user or a core user, then also you can learn TM and you can become a TM consultant. You would be able to easily learn, not a problem at all. If you are not out of these, but you have a still deep experience in logistics execution, you know the logistics execution very well, right? You know the logistics execution, you have worked into the operations. Logistic execution, not the logistic execution of SAP. I'm not talking about LE of SAP. I'm talking about the business way. You have worked into the handling the logistics business, handling the transportation, maybe as a clerk or maybe as a planner, if you have handled those things, which makes you a strong understanding and a strong business knowledge in the logistics and transportation, that those candidates are also a good candidate to learn SAP TM. Okay. If you have a deep experience in the operations, transportation management, you have a very good experience in the transportation management, in the operations, not as an IT or consultant, then also you are a good candidate to learn SAP TM. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. You are from any other module, you want to cross-train yourself into the different modules in your company, TM is going to implement it, or the TM is coming next. A lot of TM projects are coming. You are into the another modules, you want to jump into TM. You're already working as a consultant, you can cross-train yourself in the TM. We don't recommend TM to the freshers. Freshers means a lot of people come, they have graduated, sir, TM ki badi demand hai, there's a lot of demand in TM, you want to become a TM consultant. We are here to train you, right? But we are here also to make sure that you are guided properly. Okay, so generally the fresher struggles a lot because a lot of integration with ST, a lot of integration with MM comes into the picture. And when they don't know, it's not easy to do the consulting. If you are a complete fresher, if you are new to SAP, our advice is if you want to go for TM, target as a TM, first learn SAP SD, SD Mastery, and then go for TM. We have SD Mastery batches also starting from tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. We have a first session for SD Mastery, SD, MM, PP, FICO Mastery. How we would be supporting, that's also I was seeing a lot of generic questions, I want to answer it. How we would be supporting you in the learning. So we have a dynamic content. So we have two contents. One is the live trainings, which we'll be doing Saturday and Sunday. And we already have a dynamic content. So that dynamic content, as soon as you enroll, is given to you because we understand people are working into the projects. They need to learn something very faster. Okay, some topics which will come later, it will take 1 month to reach there. They want to know it now. So we give the full video recorded dynamic content to you so that if you want to go through it, advance, if you want to, before coming to the session, if you want to go through the recording first and then want to come to the session with some pre-knowledge, you would be able to do it. So for dynamic content assignments, this mind maps are also there. Everything is managed under our LMS. And in LMS, you will get all these things. Okay, so you would be getting that dynamic content so that you can even run faster. If you want to run faster than what pace we are going, you can do it. Instructor-led sessions would be there. These are the instructor-led sessions to make sure that you are in discipline. Everything which we want to train you is available here. And this content is bigger what we are going to cover. Our total content is somewhere around 55 to 60 hours. Okay. We are committing here the instructor-led session would be of 40 hours. There would be some content which will be asking you to go through the recordings. Okay. So commitment is 40 hours of the instructor-led training, but content is bigger. Okay, so some part you need to go through the recorded videos. A lot of extra thing people ask, which is not there for everyone, that part will be asking you to go through the recorded videos. We are doing everything we have given you as recorded. Why we are doing this instructor-led sessions? To make sure you are in discipline, to make sure we motivate you. Okay, make sure you understand the concept correctly. Because what happens once only the video is given to you, then after 2-3 videos, people got dropped. Discipline is not there. So in the live session, you would be able to sit in the discipline. Okay, at least you would be sitting, we'll be giving assignment to you, you would be completing, you reporting back. So in that discipline, you would have a good amount of learning. And this instructor-led session also, we are the only company in the SAP world who give the instructor-led sessions around the year, which means all other companies, they charge you for the batch, right? We don't charge you for the batch. We charge you for the community, which we are giving it to you, a learning community, a learning platform. So in this learning platform, we do a multiple iterations. You will see that there is other students are also joining, which has been enrolled 6 months back. So they have already done one iteration. This iteration, they are joining it to improve, to learn more, or they have missed some part, they are jumping in to learn. So you would be getting chance to go through the instructor-led session for 1 year. In 1 year, generally 2 to 3 iterations would be there for TM. So you would be able to sit in all these iterations to repeat, to relearn, or to make the concept more stronger. Okay. Server access would be given as for HANA 2023. Server access would be given 3 months of complimentary. Server access we are giving complimentary when you buy a bundle, and it would be only 3 months. I'm repeating, it would be only 3 months. It costs us a lot. We hardly work on the break-even point for these trainings, the kind of efforts we are putting. Multiple different working consultant to bring them here, to give the knowledge to you, make sure a good working system is provided to you. I can bet you this system, we have the efforts we put it. You will not find these kind of scenarios. Any XYZ system, 1,000 rupees, 1,000, 1,500, you take it from Hyderabad, you run the TM scenario and let me know. In last 2 years, we have put it a lot of effort on the system. Okay, so this is a complimentary access we are giving it for 3 months. To have a good hand on the TM training, you might need server access for more time. So if you require for more time, the 90% of our students, they keep on subscribing for the server. Okay, after 3 months, you can subscribe it again. It costs you somewhere around $110 or $115, and then you can subscribe again for the 3 months. We have an offline support available for you. We have a Telegram community. You can also go to the Telegram community and you can ask the question when you are not into the live session, but the response time in the Telegram community is quick when it comes to the other people. There are so many other people who have already done the things. They can respond you quickly. Our response time is 48 to 72 hours for the Telegram community. It's a dedicated community only for the paid students. We understand you need to get cross-trained yourself. So we also provide complimentary 200 hours of step-up circle videos where the different things has been covered. SD overview, MM overview, PP overview, EWM overview, Ariba overview, what the technical, how the enhancements need to happen. Okay, what are the APIs? Okay, what is the impact of AI on SAP? So many different things. Business partner, 2023 change, 2022 changes, 2023 changes. So many things has been provided in the step-up circle. So this is, if you buy a bundle, around 200 hours of complimentary step-up circle videos. Also, you get it, which we do every Sunday evening. We have a product by which you would be able to prepare for the certification. We have an interview preparation product. We also have a placement assistance for you. Okay, we are also trying to launch the mentorship program. We have not launched for TM. I don't want to commit, but slowly we are launching. We have launched our mentorship program where basically you can book your slot to have a mentorship session book with your trainer. He can mentor you that how you can get succeeded, how you can land it into a job as a TM consultant. That kind of mentorship session would be there. We have started with MM. Mock interviews are also there. So that thing we have not started with TM yet, but we have in pipeline. We have started with MM. Next, we are starting with PP, then SD, then FICO, and then TM. So you will see next 4 to 5 months, you will be having from our side mentorship and mock interview product, where you would be able to book your session for the mock interview or the mentorship. But it is in pipeline, it will take 4 or 5 months. This is a quick from my side. Team, please share the link where basically people can go through the bundle, people can go through the content, what is content available. And then you will be able to subscribe yourself. Go and subscribe for the bundle. It has a complimentary courses. It has a complimentary server access. It has a live trainings. It has a recorded videos. Everything which you require to become a TM consultant is included there. Batch schedule would be every Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. Today was the session number 1. We'll be continuing where we left today, tomorrow. Now I am putting the session open for any kind of questions. Okay, I will start a little bit above. If your question is not answered, you can put it again. Okay, I'm starting. Let's say start from values question. The PPT can share which is showing on the screen. This is not PPT, this is a mind map. Mind map would be shared, but you can access the mind map only through our tool. You don't have any option to download any kind of videos, any kind of materials are not downloadable. You would be able to access it from our LMS, and LMS access you will be having for 1 year. Okay, LMS access will be there for 1 year. Other PPT decks are also there that would also be available in the LMS, but that access is also for 1 year. Okay, only the books would be given to you. In your Google Drive, you'll be having standard SAP TM books to prepare for certification. Those are the books which you would be getting it. Those are the books which you would be getting it as a downloaded. You would be able to download. Apart from that, everything you would be able to access from LMS. Nagraj is asking, can you allow for me to attend tomorrow class, then register? What is difference between LE and TM? LE and TM, we are covering tomorrow. This is the third topic of tomorrow. LE versus TM, we'll be discussing it, Nagaraj. Class recording will be provided. Yes, all the class recordings will be provided. How long the access? 1 year access. Refund options, 72 hours, you would be able to refund. Discount, we don't have any discount. Please don't ask. It takes a lot of efforts. We are running in very competitive price. You go to SAP, they would be charging you somewhere around between 2.5 lakh to 4 lakh rupees, and less than 50% of the content they give, which we provide. Okay, so please don't reach out to my team for any kind of discounts. A humble request from my side. We are delivering it in a very competitive price. 18% straight go in the GST, 4% directly, 2 to 4% directly go as the transaction charges through the Razorpay or PayPal. Right. So, and we need to include multiple experienced people in it, and we have also cost to bear. We have also team to handle it. All of these things we want to provide it because we want to make a good consultants in the market. So we are hardly at the break-even point for any course which we are conducting it, right? So we are majorly working onto the consulting business. We are into the consulting, but training we drive through because I am passionate about training people, making good consultant in the market. So please, humble request, don't reach out for any kind of discounts. If anywhere any discount is there, you will get it on the LinkedIn. Sometime on the festive season, we get it from our LMS Teachable, we get some discounts. We pass it to the students, and you will be having email, or you will be having on LinkedIn or on our Teachable or on our Telegram forums, you will be getting that the discount is there. As of now, there is no discount at all. What are the projects we'll cover, like rollout migration? We would be not covering the projects like rollout migration. We would be covering a project like you are implementing SAP TM, and to implement SAP TM, what is the master data or what is the configuration you need to do it. Okay, that is what we will be doing, Nagaraj. You need to enroll it so that you can attend the further sessions. Question from Jay, why have a separate shipment type for drop shipment? What is when it can fit in a single leg, shipment, multi-leg? Those are not shipment types technically. Those are the different business scenario I have explained, Jay. So don't get it confused with the having a different shipment types, technical shipment types. Those are the different scenarios we are having it. In the dropship scenario, your source would be your vendor. Your source would not be your plant and the storage location. So the source which need to be, if you want to implement TM, the source information which need to be sent to the TM, that from where the shipment need to start, would not be your plant. Can you please again explain the drop shipment? Drop shipment, Rajkumar, if I want to explain again, is a shipment which you are not sending the goods from your premise, but your vendor is sending goods directly from his premise to the customer, which sometimes is also called third-party sales. Okay, rather than you supplying from your location, vendor is supplying on behalf of you to your customer. That was from Rajkumar. Anju has a question. Explain tendering again. Tendering is nothing. I have my transport, which I need to transfer from this location to this location. I want to transport it from Delhi to Chennai. Okay. And I have a big shipment from Delhi to Chennai. There are almost 15-20 trucks would be required. And that requirement, I'm giving it to my freight forwarders, to my carriers. Okay, this is my requirement. And you fill my tender. You send me your quotations to me, how much you would be charging, whether you can provide, what kind of trucks you can provide, what kind of services you can provide, and how much you will be charging. So they will send the quotations. And from those quotations, we will be selecting, okay, this one is the best. Services are good, reputed vendor, costs are also good. So we select one. So that process is called tendering process. That was a question from Anju. A question from Hima. In drop shipment, the goods are not with us, rather the goods are provided by the vendor and it never comes to our physical location. Goods are directly shipped from the... Thank you, Hima. Thank you very much for explaining the scenario. Can you explain? Okay, tendering I have explained again in good term. Okay, TM support for inbound and outbound operation. Senthil, either you raise your hand or you elaborate your question. What do you mean by TM support? Are you looking for a kind of a one-to-one support or on-project support? It's a standalone. How payment processing? It is a standalone. How payment processing in TM? Payment processing happens if you're talking about the payment which we give it to the freight providers. I talk about the charge management and the settlement. So charge management is a sub-module in the TM, which handles calculating the charges and doing the settlement with your freight providers. And the MM module is integrated with that. With it, automatically for the freight orders, we will go through the process. Your service PO would be created, service entry sheet would be created, and with that service PO and service entry sheet, a payment would be made to your vendors in TM with integration with MM. So that part is the MM part, but the service PO would be automatically generated from the settlement module of TM. So we have a particular chapter for it. And Sandeep is the one who covers that. Shuvendu is asking who will be the trainer. Is EWM TM integration in scope? EWM TM integration we are not putting in scope, but we are trying from almost 6 to 9 months. There's a lot of things is required in system to integrate EWM and TM. Last time when we tried, we were not able to connect in our system because few SAP nodes was required. And for those SAP nodes installation, our S user IDs was not able to do it. Our basis team, they need SAP support to do that. And the SAP support, we don't get the kind of system we are using it. We don't get SAP support for them, right? So that scenario running is not that easy. We are trying it, okay? And I cannot commit it. But in EWM also, this is an open question. We have a EWM excellence. We don't have a TM excellence. That we are putting a TM 2.0 course where these things would be coming it up. But if we are doing it, at least I will give you a chance to attend the live session. But that is the topic. We have a certain topics which we are putting it for the TM excellence course. If it comes, it will be coming into the new course, which is TM excellence. But if you're doing a live session, I will allow you to attend the live session. But as of now, it is not in our training scope. Although the theoretical level, there's some explanation is there. Who will be the trainer? As I told at the starting, we have TM is a module. We have most number of trainers, right? I start with the concepts. I start with the architecture. I start with the master data and the basic configuration. This is the part which is done by me, and it takes me around 6 to 7 sessions to cover that. Then it will go to Adi. Adi is our configuration expert. He is expert into the freight unit building rules and the freight unit type and the freight order type configuration. So he would be covering that part. Okay. Then it would be going ahead to Sandeep. Sandeep is our settlement and the charge management expert. He covered the settlement and charge management. If Sandeep is not there, that would be covered by Vinay. Okay, these all are working consultant. It takes us very hard time to bring those experts in, right? So once it has been done, then there is some additional topics of tendering and your some profile settings, cockpit settings, execution is there. That would be covered by Vardhan. And then Vinay would be covering the part of the planning. The optimization and planning would be covered by Vinay. So these would be the different trainers. They all are expert trainers. Nobody is having experience less than 15 years. They all are 15 plus years experience in total who would be conducting these sessions. I like demo session and I am planning to register. Topic will be covered during course. The link has been given, right? So this is the link has been given. I will try to open the link which Aman has provided. And you can also see that what we have covered in our last batch from this link. What happened to this? It is not opening properly. This is a bundle. So in this bundle, you would be getting it. We have an EWM overview session today evening. Myself and Mr. Naidu would be taking. So this you will get SAP S/4HANA TM. So this is the already recorded videos. From here, you can watch that what is the full content covered. You can open a new tab, and from here, you will be able to see the full content which we have. This is what I was calling the dynamic sessions we are having. Okay, so you can see that what are the things which has been covered, which is covered in this training. So this is the total content which is covered. And if you will go here, this is the ERP server access. ERP server access is also having some videos. Sometimes you get struggle with the generic errors, SD errors, or finance errors. You can watch through these videos, ERP server access videos. Step-up circles, different topics, 200 plus hours of videos are available. If you want to have a quick overview of EWM, Ariba, or plant maintenance or anything else, you can jump into that. These are the complementary. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. So this is Gamifier S/4HANA TM. Here you would be having a recorded sessions. Okay, the recorded sessions, this recorded session, today recorded session would be available in this Gamifier product. Okay. So right now we have not created, but this is the last November 23 batch when we have done. You can see that we ended up doing it 27 session, and every session is roughly 2 hours. So around 54 hours of live session we have covered, although we only commit for 40 hours. We always try to do what we commit more than that, but these are the 27 sessions in the last batch which we have done. Okay, you can also see previous batch, June batch, these sessions was covered. Everything is in front of you, that what we cover in the live and what is available as a dynamic content. Dynamic content would be having more content. As I told you, some topics you need to go through the videos, but a lot of content we covered at the live also. The major content we try to cover, which is most important in the live sessions. That was a question. I hope you get a good duration of batch. We try to cover in 3 months, but sometimes it takes us a little bit more than 3 months. But our target is to complete in 3 months. Saturday and Sunday sessions would be there. Every session you need to block at least 2.5 hours. 6:30 to 9 you can block. It can go beyond 9 also, but beyond 9 mostly would be question and answers. But we request you to at least block 2 hours for us. Do you offer resume preparation? So this is the mind maps and the content gallery. This is the additional training of data migration. This is additional training of Fiori A to Z. So you get a lot of complementary trainings. Fiori A to Z is a separate 15 hours of training on Fiori itself. On HANA Data Migration Cockpit, there is a separate 10 hours of training, which is available here, right? And this is the link where you will get all the content and the mind maps, which I was sharing. You will get it from here. Bhupender, make a note. It is not available. The resume preparation is not available, Yash. But I will get it added. We have created a separate course for CV building. So I will get this course added here as a complimentary. Okay, which will help you to build the CV. Bhupender, please make a note. We need to add the CV building course here. Rajkumar saying, when we'll have a today session recording available? It takes us 24 hours to bring the recording. But as I said, we always supersede our commitments. Generally, by afternoon, people, our training team is able to do it. But sometime what happens, from Zoom, downloading it and converting it takes longer time. So we put it the window of 24 hours. Within the 24 hours, recorded videos would be available. But in general, our team are able to do it within 4 to 6 hours. I want to enroll for EWM also. Is there any morning schedule for EWM? Bhupender or Aman, can you please answer Ashish question? What is our EWM batch timings? If you can answer it. Is job placement is offered in US and Canada? So yes, let me tell you frankly, for TM, EWM, those are the modules where we need to put less than 1% of our effort in the job placement. Our 99% of the efforts which goes into the job placements goes into for the fresh consultant who are learning the modules like SD, MM, PP, FICO, ABAP, those modules. Okay, so because if you are already experienced as a SD or in another module, and if you're learning TM, right, what you need to do is we'll be assisting you to prepare a good CV. In future, we'll be coming with the mentorship session and the mock interview sessions. And with that, you would be able to get placed. Okay, we don't have any backdoor entries, and if it is not required, if you are trained well, you are already experienced, there are so many opportunities are there for TM, you would be automatically getting a calls for TM. You need to showcase a little bit of experience in TM, and if you have a background experience of other modules, you would be able to do it. As I said, we don't recommend freshers to directly learn TM. If you are a fresher, I don't recommend learning TM directly. First, you need to learn SD and then TM. But if you have experience, you would be getting opportunities. US and Canada also has opportunities, but if you need US and Canada, there are a lot of opportunities coming as a freelancers. Okay. Otherwise, there are the visas you should be having it to go there and search for the US and Canada. We know this asking payment in installment. Sorry, we don't have any installment available. The payment is not that high. It's a nominal amount is there. We don't have installments available. Refund is for 24 hours. Yes, you can get it refund for within 24 hours. And 72 hours, sorry, if I said it incorrectly, 72 hours is a window where you would be able to switch. Within 72 hours, you said, "Arey nahi yaar, TM nahi chahiye to mujhe. I need to learn SAP SD." That you would be able to do it in 72 hours. Can you please talk about TM demand in market, salaries, and does the Sastrageek can refer us after the courses to companies, partners, the job opportunities? Yes, we have been partnered with at least 3 companies who dedicatedly work or who are specialized in the projects of EWM and TM. There we would be sending your profiles and CVs will be forwarding to there. Job market is very good, but TM require a little bit of experience. If you don't have experience under your belt, overall experience, then you would be having a little bit of struggle to get opportunities as a TM. Although we have a cases, we have at least recently two ladies, they both learned first SD and then they learned TM, and they both are working as a TM consultant now, and they don't have any much experience behind their belt. Still, they are able to convert into TM, but they need to struggle a little bit. It takes them around 9 to 10 months to get those jobs. I don't want to put any fake picture. If you have experience, okay, let's say SD experience, MM experience, other module experience, and then you are learning TM, then it is very quick to get a job because the market is full. And why market is getting full, I will also put in the tomorrow session, because of S/4HANA embedded TM and because of LE is going down. Now, LE and TM is two different things. If you said, I know LE, I would be able to do TM. No. Totally different screens, totally different transaction, totally different configurations. A LE guy, logistic execution guy, cannot handle TM without the training. He need to get trained, right? So we need a specialized people in TM because LE is going down. One thing is that because LE is going down, all the companies who are using shipment as a module, they need to jump into SAP TM. That is creating a lot of market for TM. Second thing is because now TM is embedded. In the same server, you can use TM. You just need to pay additional license. And without paying additional license, also basic shipment you can use in the TM. Basic shipping you can use. We'll talk in tomorrow's session what is the difference between basic shipping and advanced shipping. But you can use the basic shipping scenario without giving a license cost also. As for HANA, you already have. TM is there. So it become very lucrative कि भैया use कर लेते हैं. Let's try to use the TM side, right? That's where people are putting their hands on TM. And that's where the demand is coming for the TM consultants. That is a question from Prithvi Raj. Ramesh is asking tendering. Tendering, I have explained already 2 times, Ramesh. I hope you get it. Already explained 2 times tendering. Is live training class and the bundle subscription charged separately? No. The bundle which we are showing, this is the live trainings. The link for the live trainings you will get from here. The recording from the live trainings you will get from here. The charges for all of these bundle courses together, the one charge. It's not separate. Once we enroll for the class, can we access for the bundle documents and videos? Yes, if you are enrolling for this link which has been given from here, if you are enrolling it from here, you would be able to access all of this content. Senthil is having a big question. Let me have a sip of wet water before I answer it. Could you please explain how the costing will be integrated with the TM? Just in high level is suffice. Will the TM consultant get involved in the costing part? For example, in our business, goods are received with containers that have freight charges for loading, unloading extra, resulting in arriving landed cost for item. Okay, so that is the question, Senthil. The detailed answer, you will get it in our charge and settlement module. You will get a detailed answer for it. But there are options available that your cost, your freight cost can be added with the conditions into your sales orders also, so that you would be able to charge it to the customers. Okay. And if required, you would also be, with a little bit of enhancement, you would also be able to bring it up to the material cost also, if it is required. Okay. With the month-end closings or the year-end closing, you would be able to bring it. If you want the freight cost need to be included in your material cost, then you need to distribute it, the freight which you have paid, to the materials which has been transported. So that will require a little bit of additional effort, where the finance need to be involved, but can also be done. That is your first question. Why should we choose TM over integration with the 3PL system to manage TM? Will the cost of SAP TM implementation be higher than 3PL system integration with SAP? How to justify this to customer? This is the second question, which I would be answering in the tomorrow session. This would be the first topic, which will be covering it. Okay. What are the third-party systems available? What is the TM available? Where does the TM stand on it? So I would be answering the second point in tomorrow's session. Senthil. Third, TM and EWM classes conflict with each other's. My preference, I want to learn EWM first. Oh, yeah, that's what Bhupender need to answer, or Aman need to answer. I'm not very sure, but I think it starts at 10. It's back to back. I think the TM session will end, and then EWM will start. I think it's back to back. Aman or Bhupender, please confirm. Yeah, it's already answered. Your question is already answered. RU is having a question. If you can, please also take a session on different system integration with SAP TM, just an overview or in short. That is already available. So we have the 7 different systems which can get integrated with the TM system, and that recorded videos are available. That what are these different systems, how it can integrate at high level, not into the deep level, but high level. What are the different systems get integrated with the TM in our dynamic course? That video is already available. Is there any scenario you have encountered where TM is integrated with freight? TM is integrated with freight. We implement TM for the freight only. Audit and pay like CASS. Oh, I think the freight audit and pay like CASS is the different systems names which you're talking about, Bright, if I'm not wrong. Freight audit and pay like, no. I have not seen TM getting integrated with these systems before. Yes, Mojit, you are right with your statement. No, we don't have a Shivendu. We don't have a server access till the end of the course. We have a server access for 3 months. As I told to you, we are giving a complimentary server access for 3 months. We try to provide you the server access when the first assignment is given, and we try to manage that within 3 months. After that, within 3 months, our course finish, and you have a server access also. But the server access is restricted because many people, as soon as they enroll the course, they also want the server access on the same day. Then server access will not last till the end of the course. Okay. So server access is for the 3 months, not till end of the course. In generally, 90% of the cases, if you go with our strategy, 90% of the cases, your sessions are ending and your server is also ending. We try to meet that. But if the server access is given as we give it to you, if you say that, nahi, I enroll today, give me the server access today, then it will not last till the end of the course. Is SAP TM technical part also supported? We know no, we have only one session which covers little bit of the TM technical, but TM technical is having a separate thing. We have discussed about couple of trainers covering 18 to 20 hours of SAP TM technical. But what they are charging is like anything. When we made the calculation, we need to charge for TM technical course for almost 80 to 90,000 rupees per student, which I think don't make sense. People would not prefer comparing our other courses. They will not prefer to pay that much high. So we have not started that. So TM technical is not part of this course. CV course has been added. That's a good speed. That's a wonderful speed. Support team. I really love my support team. We say and they do it quickly. Mastering CV creation. Here it is for you. $67 course, complimentary because you asked for it. Thank you. Thank you, support team. Yash, is business blueprint document agile methodology used in TM project? Yes, used in TM project. We have two separate courses for it covering that. Yash, if you can stay till last and if you can raise your hand, I just want to understand what is your experience before you enrolling for this course. And in between, Akhil has raised a hand for a long. Akhil, you can ask if you have any question.
Okay, so Parminder, morning. My only question is, like, I am a SD consultant working with Accenture, and I have hardly 4.5 years of experience. So I have gone through your bundles, various bundles, which includes both TM and SD, right?
Sorry,
Now,
which vendors you have gone through?
SD and TM.
SDTM, SD Mastery or Excellence?
SD Mastery. So Mastery, I'm not looking forward to, but Excellence, I'm looking forward to. So for Excellence bundle, do you provide on live trainings also, or is it that the only the recorded sessions are available?
Excellence, we have a live trainings, but excellence iteration is twice a year.
That's okay. That is completely fine with me. And the second part of this question is, like in the excellence part, do we have sessions on BRF plus?
Yes, there is one session on BRF Plus.
And how deep it is? I mean, like to what extent we can get an insight on BRF plus, because BRF plus is a wide topic. I know, and
No,
it
no,
involves.
no, 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 no. BRF Plus, when we say BRF Plus, it's a separate product and it's a technical product. When
Correct.
we say BRF Plus, it's a output management, SD output
Ah,
management with
correct.
BRF Plus. That is
Right,
a
right.
small part within the big BRF Plus, which we cover. That
Okay, so
how and SAP has actually, if you know, SAP has stopped calling it. Earlier, it was output management with BRF plus. Now they just call it new output management. They have stopped using a terminology BRF plus. The hints which we got it that new output management will be there, but SAP is planning to change the behind technology of BRF plus. Okay, so yes, when I say BRF plus is the output management, how the output management can be triggered with the BRF plus in the new output management. That has been covered. It has not covered in very deep. Okay, it has a decent coverage, but not very deep. The reason is the the adoption is very low for BRF plus. I am working on almost 8 years into SAP S/4HANA projects. I had only discussion for one or two clients with the new output management, but none of them has adopted. Still, output management has been adopted through the classic output management. And
uh,
there are
uh,
reasons also because the new output management does not support so many things, especially when it comes to the automations.
Just one liner I want to add, because like in my project, past company in process, where I was having a chance of working with the client BMI. Now, the usage of BRF plus was mainly not only in the output but for some logistic part also. But yes, we were using mainly for output management. So, do we get will I be able to get an insight on the BRF Plus when it comes to good insight on BRF Plus when it comes to output management if I take the excellence course?
Yes, yes. So there's the good insight means there's around 1.5 to 2 hour session on BRF plus output management that you will be getting it. BRF plus has so many things. It has a workflows. It is used a lot for the workflows. BRF plus workflows. Those kind of things is not covered.
Yes, completely fine with me. And then what else in the excellence bundle? Because I'm looking forward to opt for two bundles, one for excellence of SD and then TM mastery. So, if you can answer, and if you don't mind answering with this question, what else will be covered in the Excellence bundle for ST?
As of now, Excellence Bundle is having a AATP course as a complimentary, which we have
AATP.
already
Okay.
planned to remove it and put it as separate course. But if you are going now, AATP will get it complimentary.
AATP along with FSCM and then settlement management will be there.
Yes, FSCM settlement management is there, and AATP is a separate course. So settlement management, FSCM are the chapters, but AATP is a big part, which almost take 9 to 10 hours of training. So we are putting it as a separate course. So that AATP course also you will get it with the SG Excellence.
Okay, so it will be covered. And totally, how many hours of the session is, like this bundle is live session and covering the videos?
Excellence part.
Yes, yes, yes.
SG Excellence would be somewhere around 45 hours. AATP would be somewhere around 10 hours. Then we have around 10 hours of HANA Migration Cockpit, 10 hours of A to Z Fiori. If you cover everything, it would be around 90 hours. But if you focus on the SD part, it would be around 45 hours.
But it on total with all the extra things, it will be 90 years, around 80 to 90 years, right?
Yes, right, right.
And the server access will be there for SD server access will be there for 3 months only.
So now you are buying two bundles together, so you will get server access for 6 months.
6 months, both TM and SD for 6 months.
Both TM and SD would be there for 6 months.
And okay, and I have raised one request. I don't want to, reveal my request on the open platform, but I have pinged in that, like, I have certain bank issues. I have shared that request. So if you get a time and let me know if that is possible by Monday or not. So because I'm trying very hard to enroll it, but since it's a bank holiday, and I mean, like, it might not be possible today or tomorrow. But if possible, I'll do it today itself. Or if you can give me a time till Monday so that I can attend the session for tomorrow.
So just drop an email to support team Akhil,
Okay.
support@sastrageek.com, and then they will handle it.
Okay, okay. So I'm looking forward for both the mastery and the mastery of TM and excellence in ST. So 6 months with access, everything. Okay, I'll drop each and everything on the mail. Support. Can you please let me know the email ID where I have to drop the mail?
Support@sastrageek.com. Support team, can you provide the email?
Okay. Thank
They
you,
will
Parminder. Thank you so much. Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And just one more thing. Maybe it will be relevant for everyone. Uh, I came to know that in my current organization, certain certifications are getting expired. So like, let's say certification for ST, which I did it 460, TSC 460. It is already expired. By 2025, it will be expired. They have retired it. So, do you provide the certification help for the recent one, or it is in your the certification access, the help that you are providing will be the for the earlier ones certification code?
The certification things are changing a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So now they have 1 year of expiration. So we try to update. What we provide is the questions and the books. And the books does not change very frequently, but every year we try to check if there is major changes in the book, we update it. And then we also try to update the questions frequently. That's what we do it.
And it is not the dumps, you are providing the books. These are not the 80, 90 questions that we need to learn by heart and prepare for the certification. It's the books that we have to go through.
We provide the questions with the wrong
Okay.
answers.
With the right answer, wrong answer.
Wrong answers.
Okay. Okay.
We provide the questions, 80, 90 questions with the wrong answers. We provide the books. We want you to go through the questions and try to find it out the right answer by yourself. With that process, you would be learning also.
Okay.
And
Fine.
you would be also able to clear the certification. Both purpose will suffice.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Parminder. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Sure. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Okay, Vipul is asking, saying, any documents are you providing, like quick notes? Yes, the other documents, you can see that this is the SAP TM mind maps and the content library. Here you will see all the mind maps which we are having, and all the PPT documents and the assignment documents would be available here. Okay, so we have created for the documentation library, we have created a separate. So all the mind maps or the PPTs or the assignments, you would be getting it here. Prithviraj is asking, can you refer some resources which helps to understand the business process better? Okay, I have actually try to identify some. That's a good question, Prithviraj. I will try. I have done that for finance, for supply chain, for sourcing and procurement earlier, but I've never searched for the TM one, where basically you also get a good knowledge on the TM business process. I will take this on me and will try to find it out. Maybe if any course on the basic of transportation management business, I can identify and refer to you. I will search for it, Prithviraj. By this course, what we gain knowledge after this course are we need to join any other extra course too. Harish, this is a course to get you kick started as SAP TM. So you will get a kickstart in as SAP TM. You would be able to start your career as SAP TM consultant. TM is a very wide, a lot of things are there. Every module, a lot of things. All the trainings which we provide is the kickstart training, which will help you to kickstart. And when you actually go into the projects, every day would be new learning. Every project is different. Every projects are doing a different kind of things in detail they are using. Every day would be a new learning for you. So this would be a kickstart. And might be to have advanced knowledge when we come with the TM excellence, you might need to join. But you can start your career as a consultant, as a TM consultant. Many has done with this course. JP has a question. Will you provide any examples of challenges facing during TM project delivery, the way of TM project execution? Yes, we do provide some of the things would be there in the mind map itself. And please feel free to ask. We have a different experts. They share their experience. They all are working SAP TM experts. So you can also ask them. So these are the few SAP notes which I have put it here. Is the challenges related to the challenges which we faced during our implementations. I have tried to put here, and all other trainers also they tell you their experiences, and you can feel free to ask. When in the live session, the more you ask, the more we tell. If you don't ask, sometimes we don't tell, right? So if you ask, more you ask, more we tell. Jay said, when can I join? If I can't join this batch, always my strategy would be enroll as soon as possible. And when you enroll, maybe you're not able to join the live sessions. You can ask team to hold your server access and you can go through the recorded videos. A lot of students who are waiting for us for 1.5 months, they have been already enrolled. As soon as they enroll, they get all the access. They can go through the recorded videos. And when they jump into the sessions, their level of interest would be very high because you have already gone through the recorded videos. So my recommendation, Jay, that if you're not able to attend live this iteration, still enroll, go through the videos, and in the next iteration, you can join live. What kind of access you are providing? Mojid is asking, it is SAP S/4HANA Embedded 2023 access, SAP GUI access, and the Fiori access would be there with SD and TM authorization. It's not HANA, it's S/4HANA 2023 server. Vinod is asking, is the server access specific to only TM or the other areas also accessible? You would be able to access TM and SD. That's what you would be able to access. Bhagyashri is asking, hello, sir. I have got the self-paced course of TM from you. Is it possible to get server access as complimentary? No, Bhagyashri, the server access is not complimentary with the recorded video. Server is a significant cost for us. So it cannot be given as a complimentary with the self-paced videos. With the bundle, you can get it. Giving charge Vijay to ask his question. Vijay, go ahead, ask your question.
Yeah, hello, sir. Actually, means I am having the 7-8 years experience in SAP SD, and my query is after completion of this course, are you providing any prototype project for transportation management or any hands-on on transportation management?
So we have another program. If you ask Vijay, the 6-7 years of experience you are having in as a SD consultant, right?
Yeah, right, sir.
One thing is that we would be working on a scenario. And that scenario, you would be configuring it from the scratch, from the creating the company code configurations, everything you need to work from the scratch. And from there, we would be going ahead and running the TM scenario. So one prototype is already available within the training, but we have also another program that's called the internship program.
Okay.
So you can join the internship program as SAP TM consultant, and there we will be adding a TM scenarios in the end-to-end implementation that, okay, this part is need to be handled as a TM, and then you need to, with the SD, MM, FI, ABAP consultants together, you need to deliver the TM part in the internship. Internship is also complementary from our side. What I am talking about, if you take a 2 bundle access from us, we provide a complimentary internship.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vijaya. How much extra charges after 3 months of server access? The product is available. You can check from the link which has been given. So in the bundle, you can check ERP server access. Price is not showing because I have been enrolled. Whatever the price it shows, I think it would be somewhere, as of now, somewhere around $110 or $115 for 3 months. It's SO3 HANA Access, S4 HANA Access. Majid. Nagraj, it will be extended to IDOC part also with, it will extend it to IDOC part also with TM. Nagraj, if you can raise your hand and ask a question. Akhil question has been answered by support team. $107 US as of now. Huh? If you will check after 6 months or after a year, the price will change. Internship and server access only we get. Basically, Vipul, if you want to get internship, you need to have a 2 bundle access. So you can choose, if you're paying for internship, if you consider you are paying for internship, you need to choose 2 bundles, which you will be getting it complimentary with internship. And 6 months of server access also you will get. Bhagyashri, to get the internship, you need to enroll for 2 bundle courses with us. If you have 2 bundle courses with us, we'll offer you the complimentary internship. Okay. I have answered all of the questions and I don't have any hand raised. We would be jumping into our tomorrow session where we have stopped today. We'll be jumping into our tomorrow session and we'll proceed ahead with the further learnings. Okay, we'll be covering the architecture part, which we were not able to cover today in tomorrow's session. The link has been given. If you are not enrolled, make sure you get your enrollment done so that you would be able to attend tomorrow's session. Thank you everyone for today's session. We'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.